Imagine the wild Atlantic coast in the early 1600s. Dense ancient forests reach right to the water's edge. Powerful waves crash against rocky shores. A small group of English colonists stands looking out at the vast ocean. They are far from home, isolated in a new and unforgiving land. Without a ship, they cannot trade, explore new coasts, fish the rich waters, or ever return to England. Building a vessel becomes not just important, it becomes essential for their very survival. This is the story of the first ship built in America. The first English settlers faced tremendous hardship. Supplies from across the ocean arrived slowly and unreliably. They needed their own ships to fish, trade timber and furs, and connect scattered colonies. In places like Virginia and Massachusetts, brave colonists with limited tools and knowledge began the difficult work of shipbuilding using the resources around them. The process started deep in the forest. Experienced men, often helped by local Native American guides, searched for the strongest white oak and pine trees. These trees had to be tall, straight, and free of major defects. Teams of colonists cut them down using only axes and two-man saws. The sound of chopping echoed through the woods for days. Once felled, the massive logs were stripped of branches and hauled to the shipyard by teams of oxen and men pulling with ropes and sheer muscle power. At the shipyard, the real craftsmanship began. First, they shaped the keel, the long backbone of the ship. This was made from the single longest and strongest timber available. It formed the foundation upon which everything else would rest. Next came the ribs and frames. Workers carefully shaped, curved pieces of wood. They bent planks using steam and fire in a slow, precise process. These frames were attached to the keel, rising like the skeleton of a great sea creature. Then, thick planks were fastened to the frame. They used wooden pegs called tree nails and iron nails forged in local blacksmith shops. Every joint had to be tight to keep the ship watertight. The challenges were immense. Colonists worked in harsh coastal weather, freezing winters and humid summers. Disease was common. Many of the builders were not professional shipwrights, but farmers, carpenters, and ordinary settlers who learned the trade as they went. Mistakes could ruin months of work, yet they adapted with remarkable ingenuity. One of the most famous early examples is the ship built by the Popham Colony in Maine in 1607. Other attempts followed in Virginia and Massachusetts. These vessels were relatively small by later standards, often 30 to 80 tons. but they were sturdy and well suited to coastal trade and fishing. Watch as the hull slowly rises on the wooden stocks. Colonists work from dawn until dusk. Close-up shots show calloused hands shaping wood with adzes and planes. Teams hammer planks into place in steady rhythm. The pride on their faces grows as the ship takes form. Launching day is filled with tension and excitement. The ship slides down the ways into the water for the first time. Cheers rise as it floats. Then comes the rigging. Masts are stepped, sails are bent on, and the vessel is ready for sea. The first voyages bring joy and relief. Colonists sail along the coast, catch fish, and trade with other settlements. These humble ships prove that America can build for itself. These forgotten builders had almost nothing. No modern shipyards, no heavy machinery, no experienced naval architects. They worked with hand tools, local timber, and unbreakable determination. Many gave their lives to this effort so future generations could thrive. The revolutionary impact cannot be overstated. These first American-built ships established coastal trade routes, supported the fishing industry, and helped the colonies grow stronger. They laid the foundation for what would become one of the greatest maritime nations in history. Today, when we see mighty cargo ships and naval vessels, we stand on the legacy of those early colonists. Their courage and craftsmanship still sail in spirit across every ocean. Take a moment to remember them. The men who cut the trees, shaped the keel, and launched the first American ships into the unknown. Their labor built more than vessels. It helped build a nation. Thank you for watching. If you respect the hands that built America, subscribe and join us for more stories of forgotten labor and ingenuity.